Our area's most beautiful properties deserve the finest realtors. Meeks Realty Group. We focus on buying and selling residential and commercial properties throughout the tri-state area. Contact Meeks Realty Group online at meeks.us or call 304-440-1101.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 580 WCHS, its employees, or WVRC Media. From the studios of WVRC Media, the country, the United States of America, the state, West Virginia, the city, Charleston. This is the Dave Allan Show on 580 Live. And your host.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
He's kind of a big deal.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Dave Allan.
And a good Tuesday morning to you from the Parmar Store Studio. Welcome to the show. The A-Train, Anthony Harmon, is our producer today. Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly, hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. The Dave Allan Show on 580 Live, brought to you by Thornhill Auto Group, including the all-new Thornhill Toyota on the Thornhill Motor Mile US 119 in Chapmanville. Visit in person or online at thornhilltoyotawv.com. And we do the show from the Parmar Store Studio. Parmar and Game Changer present the annual Parmar Shootout on the campus of West Virginia State University, February 5th through the 8th. 4 big days, 8 exciting boys and girls basketball games each day. First games tip off at 9:30 a.m. For a complete list of all the games, visit Parmar Stores on Facebook or X. And remember, if there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon. Coming up a little bit later on the show, Attorney Rusty Webb is going to join us. Lots of talk in the news here about the opioid settlement money. Rusty's been going around handing out checks. We're going to talk to him about that. Plus, Angie Collier from United Way will be stopping by. Actually, it's kind of a hybrid thing with United Way and Americorps and some other folks, and they're trying to restock some pantries around the state of West Virginia. We will talk to them about that. Plus, a couple of weeks ago, I had a gentleman by the name of Ashley Stinnett on the show who is an actor. He's part of a new film. It's called The Good Fight, and this movie is really getting a lot of traction, and they've had several screenings here in the area. More are coming up this weekend, so Ashley's going to join us briefly to talk about that, plus your phone calls and texts are welcome. Well, of course, last night it was the State of the State. Governor Jim Justice, the final one of the Justice regime, if you will. That's kind of a harsh term. Stephen Allen Adams is with us. Steve, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Dave. Happy to be here.
And Brad McElhinny, our own Metro News correspondent. He's at the Capitol right now. Brad, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning. I am standing in a newly renovated walkway on the Senate side, and it is still a construction zone, but it's quite lovely.
All right.
It's warmer than it used to be.
I love plastic sheeting this time of year.
And I hear that your guys' quarters there has been newly renovated. I haven't been down there. Is it the press corps looking pretty good?
Not renovated per se, but we got working air conditioning.
Well,
so
that's good.
That's helpful in a building.
Cleaned up a little.
Yeah, it is cleaned up a little bit. There's a TV. There's coffee. Yeah, it's getting better.
All right. Probably
like a Hampton Inn, but without the breakfast.
I was going to say, probably nicer than all of our apartments that we had, our first apartments in college or when we were just starting out. All right, so the speech, pretty much what we've come to expect from a State of the State from Jim Justice. Lots of crowd recognition, lots of folksy colloquialisms, so to speak. Brad, let's start with you overall, then we'll get specific. Your take on the State of the State last night.
I thought it was a lot of reminiscing. This was, in fact, a bookend, and it makes sense that the governor would want to come full circle oratorially. So he reflected on the beginning of his time in office, which was, he came on and there was a budget crisis, a lot of conflict about how to resolve that. And the state may not be on perfect footing, but it is on much better footing financially, to the point that state officials instituted a 21.25% personal income tax cut that is going into effect now. So a lot of, frankly, circling the bases. And I thought that in general that was appropriate. If your listeners heard the speech or watched it, I'd be interested in their perception about the ratio of reminiscing to getting down to business and talking actual tangible bullet points, because there were few of those. The high points were 5% pay raise for state employees and educators. That's That's one thing the governor is advocating. Just really quickly, he went through 6 or 7 economic development announcements. Those would have been the centerpiece of any other State of the State speech. And then a few other policy points, 3 more modest suggestions for tax cuts. So that was my impression. It was heavy on being sort of the grand finale and much shorter on tangibles.
Stephen?
Sure. Well, it was a little long, but you can forgive him for that. This is his final state of state. This is his 8th state of the state. So going a little bit long, you can give him that. And I agree with Brad. There was a lot of reminiscing, looking back at what he inherited when he came in back in 2017, all the things that he's accomplished since then. You can expect that. I will say that a lot of what he talked about last night, about what he wants to do, particularly with some of these projects, are one-time expenditures, either supplemental appropriations or money that would be paid out of available surplus at the end of this fiscal year for various projects. And I kind of got the impression it was a little lackluster to some extent, because a lot of that's going to change between now and day 60, especially when it hits the brick wall that is Senate Finance Committee Chairman Eric Tarr.
And I want to get to that. You know, you talk about this spending package, both of you have alluded to it, about $400 million, including a raise for teachers and state employees. Now, the aforementioned Senate Finance Chair Eric Tarr is saying the money isn't there, and he referred to it as nothing more than a political stunt from candidate for U.S. Senate Jim Justice, who made that official, by the way, yesterday, maybe as opposed to Governor Jim Justice. Your thoughts, Stephen?
Well, it is interesting, especially when you talk about the modest tax cut proposals that the governor has offered. One would be another increase in the homestead exemption that primarily benefits seniors, finally exempting all Social Security income from the income tax. We do that kind of partially now, but if that's expanding further, that's something else that benefits seniors, which, of course, are the majority of this population in the state of West Virginia and who vote. So there's, I think, things to be said there. Certainly with the $123 million that you would do for a 5% pay raise, which the teachers' unions are really kind of, without saying it directly, is more of a cost of living adjustment because it will cover EI premium increases, but is it truly a pay raise? I mean, there's certainly some things to pick apart here that certainly myself, Brad, and other reporters will do in the coming days, because some of this is, I do feel, aimed at trying to woo voters, but also trying not to make too many waves to push voters away.
Mm-hmm. Would you agree with that, Brad, or you can take it however you want? What Senator Tarr said, he saw it as more of a political stunt. That's the way he referred to it, his words, when either you or Jeff or somebody caught up with him afterwards. Your take on that?
That was Jeff Jenkins, and it was a good get, because that was one of the big questions coming out of this is, all right, the governor is proposing, but what will Senate Finance Chairman Tarr do as far as disposing? I don't know that I agree with the political assessment. I mean, I think the governor is making a general case that the state is on much more solid financial footing, and that lends itself to a Senate campaign. But these proposals themselves, they're just not that splashy. I mean, there is a logical reason when state employees are facing increased costs, including for insurance, that you would provide a pay raise. Those state workers do vote. Dave, you were a state worker. You vote. So it doesn't hurt to keep them on your good side. But the rest of the proposals are, just not spending items that are, if you're a listener out there, can you even remember any of them?
Yeah. The Dave Allan Show on 580 Live, brought to you part by Bridge Valley. If you're interested in improving your company's IT workforce, Bridge Valley offers custom-tailored IT training to bridge the skills gap. At Bridge Valley, you can train for little or no cost with a 50-50 salary match. They also can help supply skilled graduates and apprenticeships for your company. Visit bridgevalley.edu/apprenticeships today. Guys, because I always look for the little things that are probably insignificant to other people, the governor noted that he has driven, and I'm very much paraphrasing here, but he has driven 1 million miles since being governor, gone through like 4 vehicles or something like that. My thoughts would be that how fewer miles would have been driven had the governor just lived in Charleston, as the Constitution requires.
For most people, that will be walkable.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I remember when Governor Tomlin was in charge, it was always not uncommon to bump into him walking to and from his offices in the west wing of the Capitol building and the governor's mansion. So one has to wonder, compared to miles versus steps, who did more in that regards. It's one of those things where, that's the one curiosity that we're going to kind of maybe miss. I don't know. Is these stories about the governor driving in from Lewisburg, and on one hand he could say he's not charging the taxpayers all this sort of stuff, which is what he tried to say last night. But at the same time, it also has dealt with legal cases and things of that nature.
Yeah, so it is worth noting. I'm glad you brought that up, that he has said, and I've not looked into it, I'm sure others have, that he does not get reimbursed for mileage, so that's on him and not the taxpayers. All right, guys, I know you both have to work, but I guess they're getting down to it on budgets under the dome. Brad, you're there now. What's up?
Yes, so the way it works every year is the revenue side is presented by the administration first to either the Senate Finance Committee or the House Finance Committee, and then they flip, and the budget side is presented to each. I think the action, frankly, is going to be on the Senate side because of friend of the program, Senate Finance Chairman Tarr, and his discretion. And he is a lightning rod. He is often criticized, but the spending of the public dollar deserves scrutiny, and boy, will Senator Tarr provide that scrutiny.
Stephen?
Sure. 2 o'clock today, House Health Committee is going to be taking up a few bills. One of those bills is going to be requiring the new West Virginia First Foundation, the foundation that is going to take some of the $1 billion opioid settlement money and take some of that and distribute it around, but it's a private foundation. They don't have to abide by public meeting laws. They're not a government entity, even though there are government officials on the committee. So there is a bill to require it to abide by the Open Meetings Act in order to keep it transparent. To their credit, they have been transparent to this point. They've let press, Brad and myself know, and others, they're having meetings. But lawmakers would like to spell it out in no uncertain terms that they need to have public meetings.
All right, guys. I will say this to the listeners, that if you want to know what's going on continually in the age of social media, whatever, make sure you follow Brad and Stephen both on X, the artist formerly known as Twitter. Stephen from Ogden Newspapers, Brad from Metro News, of course. We'll be reading all the stuff you write, and Brad be listening for your stuff as well. If you want to know what's going on, just follow these guys because they got it covered. Brad, we'll see you soon. Thanks a lot, Stephen. Always a pleasure to have you on the show as well. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, 9:20, the Dave Allan Show on 580 Live. Presented in part by Pinnacle Consultants. Whether you're replacing a roof, remodeling the kitchen, or replacing a bathroom to keep it safe, keep it legal, get with Pinnacle Consultants. They can inspect your site, collect samples, perform a lab analysis, and provide results within about a week. Testing all renovations for mold, asbestos, and lead. It's the law in West Virginia. Visit pinnaclecorp.net for Pinnacle Consultants, because what you don't know can hurt you. Text says, Dave, for years, state workers went with no pay raise or a cost of living adjustment. The ones they got haven't made up for that by any means. If TAR stands between if TAR stands between it, that's a cost of living adjustment for the state workers. He is never getting my vote, says the texter. We'll take a break. We're back after this at the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Are you a physical therapy assistant and looking for an opportunity in orthopedics, wellness, and athletic care? If so, Generations Physical Therapy is offering flexible work hours and an upbeat atmosphere. With 7 convenient locations, Generations may have a job designed for you. Visit generationspt.com.
The time is finally here. It's the grand opening celebration of the all-new, redesigned Thornhill Toyota. Your next Toyota is waiting on the Thornhill Motor Mile in Chapmanville. Hey, this is Sydney, and I'm so excited to finally invite all of you to visit our new Thornhill Toyota facility. And just in time for Toyotathon, we're loaded and ready for your visit with the most inventory of the year of new Toyotas, certified Toyotas, and quality used vehicles. The grand opening celebration of the all-new Thornhill Toyota. Offers begin online at thornhilltoyotawv.com and drive on home from the Thornhill Motor Mile, US 119 Chapmanville. Visit Thornhill for all the great details.
Let's talk about your business phone system. It's old and needs updated, but you probably think, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. There are many benefits to a new phone system from Comax Business Systems. The sound is much clearer. Everyone in your office can have a dedicated line that will remote call forward from their cell phones, and your voicemail will actually work. Comax's digital phone systems are competitively priced and efficient. Call Comax Business Systems for a free quote today. Comax Business Systems. We've kept West Virginia's business data safe, secure, and efficient for 25 years.
Oh, according to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. That means that 82% of you listening right now will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. If you're hiring, 82% of you will recall that ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier. And 82% of you will note that you can try ZipRecruiter for free today. But you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Yes, free. 82% of you will keep in mind that ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified people for your job and actively invites them to apply.
Is that you? Who are you talking to?
82% of you will also know that I, live with my mom. But the most important thing to note is that ZipRecruiter works. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Will you be part of the 82% who remember where you can try ZipRecruiter for free? It's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Again, that exclusive link is ZipRecruiter.com/free. How much? Free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Thrive with 5 at the best community bank in the Kanawha Valley, Poca Valley Bank. Poca Valley Bank is now offering a certificate of deposit special, 10-month APY, annual percentage yield 5%. Take advantage of this great rate to grow your savings. For more information, stop by a Poca Valley Bank location today or call 844-782-2651. Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter. Certain terms and conditions apply. Rates based on minimum annual percentage yield. Subject to change without notice. Minimum deposit required of $10,000 of new money not currently on deposit with Poca Valley Bank to receive APY. Member FDIC.
9:23, and a reminder that Hoppy is going to be live at the Capitol again this morning, each Wednesday and Thursday during the 60 days session. Hoppy will be in the AARP broadcast location at the Rotunda of the Capitol, so be sure and check that out. The Dave Allan Show on 580 Line brought to you in part by Huston's Pizza. This month at your favorite Huston's, get a large 18-inch pepperoni pizza and an order of appetizer meatballs, only $24.99. Dine in, delivery, or pickup. Visit HustonsPizza.com. Let me knock out a couple of texts here. Text says, Dave, I'm an independent voter. Just wonder why Justice didn't give Biden more credit for job growth in the state. Well, I think you and I probably both know the answer to that. Text says, so if Justice has driven an average of 391 miles a day in roughly 7 years, and he only drives to Charleston a couple days a week, at most, where the blank else was he driving the other 836,000 miles? He's lying, the texter, or something else. Texter says, love how Justice peed all over green wackos just before lauding all the green jobs he allowed Biden to create. He's lots, 3 lots. Stupid, says a texter. The A-Train Anthony Harmon is our today. Text of Dave Allan Show on 580 Live, a service of Fruth Pharmacy. Check out the perfect over-the-counter hearing aid of Fruth with Nuvo Med hearing aids. Plus, they make it easier than ever to transfer your prescription services to them. Fruth is your hometown family pharmacy. And phone calls to the show, a service of Bigley, Piggly, Wiggly. There's a program happening sponsored by LifeBridge Americorps in conjunction with United Way of Central West Virginia, based in Charleston. Angela Collier is with us this morning, as is Mindy Robinson. Angela, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. And Mindy, good morning to you as well.
Good morning. Doing fantastic.
Now, so help me figure all this out now. Okay, so because I know I got the initial information from our good friend Margaret over at the United Way. This is LifeBridge and Americorps. I mean, how does this work out here?
So United Way is our sponsor for our program, LifeBridge Americorps.
Okay.
We are an Americorps program throughout the state of West Virginia. Okay.
All right, guys. I want to make sure I get all that right now. There's a program entitled the Statewide Pantry Restock, and I understand it's being done all month in honor of Martin Luther King Month. So who wants to start to tell us about it?
Sure, I can. So Martin Luther King's vision is to bring community and unity together, helping one another hand in hand. And we had noticed that several pantries get hit really hard after the holidays, and we wanted to see what we could do to help circumvent that need in their communities. And so all of our members, we have 50 of them at 29 different sites all over the state of West Virginia.
Name all members and all sites. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I can.
I'm sure you can.
I don't want to waste your time.
I'm sure.
So we do have members all the way up in Ohio and Brooke County, all the way down to McDowell County. We have people in schools. We have individuals in homeless coalitions, FRNs, all sorts of different nonprofit organizations.
And FRN, that's Family Resource Network.
Yes,
I'm familiar with the work that those folks do. They do fantastic jobs. So what specifically are we looking for here?
Well, instead of calling it food pantry, we just said pantry because certain places collect different things. We have baby pantries. Some collect food and pet items. So it's each area has their own. So we have non-perishable food items, baby items, things for the homeless coalition, such as blankets, hats, socks, things like that.
And so, like you said, a lot of these pantries collect different items. So that's why the word food pantry is not, you automatically think of that. I would think food probably makes up the bulk of it. But there are other items as well. Is there a place where people can go to specifically see like what you need for certain areas, or do you have anything like that set up?
We did. Well, we've been keeping our Facebook page, LifeBridge Americorps, up to date. But also you can call the United Way of Central West Virginia at 340-3500. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. I don't call it too often, so
it's like somebody saying what's your phone number?
Yeah, to look it up.
I don't call myself. Nobody knows phone numbers at all anymore. You just push a button on your phone. But go ahead.
True. So they can tell anybody across the state. All of our sites, we've been giving them up to date list on where the items can be dropped off in all 19 sites. And
talk about the need for these items. I mean, obviously they're. Depending on what you look at, things are going pretty well, but there's still a lot of people that are in need.
Absolutely.
So talk about those needs.
Yeah, so we actually had each of our members choose what pantry they wanted to support. So we did not say, hey, go use this one. And we wanted them to contact pantries in their area and say, hey, are you in need? And if so, what is it that you need specifically? And we can try to help replenish that in need. So as far as items, specific ones, of course, food is really a big one because, groceries. And after the holidays, everyone's penny pinching right now at the moment,
Well, and there's a lot fewer pennies to pinch. Or no, let me just say this. Your pennies aren't going as far as they used to because of inflation right now.
Yes.
And the prices keep going up. I mean, it's amazing for anyone that goes to their local grocery store, no matter what it is, and they look at the price of something compared to what it was 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. It's
several
amazing.
of our members had noticed, that these people are the pantries are getting more increased numbers than they've ever seen. Even like COVID, it's almost COVID numbers, which is crazy scary.
And from what I hear from people that do your sorts of things, Mindy and Angela, what I'm hearing is people that you've never seen before are utilizing a lot of these pantries right now. I mean, people that, not that there's any shame or stigma needing help or anything like that, but people that had never, ever leaned on something like that in the past are suddenly having to do that, Angela.
Correct. Most of the time, a lot of people think that it's maybe homeless that utilize food pantries. And even though that's true, even more so we're seeing even two-income families still needing to utilize food pantries and everything. And we want them to be able to utilize those and for it to be available. So therefore, we didn't want the shortage to affect the kids. We even have pantries like in the school pantries and at Southern West Virginia Community and Technical College in Logan. They keep a food pantry for their students. So we want that to be available.
And this is what I've been told from people that work at some of these food pantries and that operate them, whether it's out of a church or something similar to a civic, or whatever it is that you're doing. They have said that what you think of people using food pantries, and this is what you just alluded to, is not actually reality. It's not necessarily the homeless people, although they do help a lot of those. It's people that are working. It's a lot of elderly people. You have a lot of elderly people that are on a fixed income that it just doesn't go. As far, especially as I said earlier, with the prices that we see in stores now.
Correct. We've and like elderly, like you said, they utilize the pantries. We've talked to elderly that said, they choose whether they purchase their medicine or they go to the grocery store for the month, and we don't ever want that to be, the only option. We wanted to reach out, but it's numerous working families, elderly, things like that are struggling at the moment.
So if people are listening to us right now and they want logistics, they want to know how's this whole thing working, this Restock the Pantry, give us the kind of a summary on that. I mean, how's this whole thing working? What's the best way for people to get involved?
Yeah, so we have our members actually created and decorated all of some boxes that we had them put out into the communities that they're serving in the counties. Some of them are just at local grocery stores. Some of them like a Kroger and Piggly Wiggly, or you can even go to local businesses. We've actually had some members reach out to some businesses and say, hey, you want to have a family or a competition amongst your staff to see who can bring in stuff. So we've been really creative as far as how to draw them in. But you can certainly check out our social media as far as LifeBridge Americorps. We have created marketing packets for all of our sites and locations as far as drop-off locations even. So be sure to check out that. But really, if you're in the listening area and you're not sure where you can put your donations, definitely call the United Way of Central West Virginia, and we will certainly put your donations to a good spot.
Can you accept cash donations if somebody would want to do that?
Yes, we can actually. You can donate it directly to the United Way of Central West Virginia and just say that you want it to go towards the LifeBridge Americorps program, Pantry Restock, and we can certainly make sure that those funds get directed towards.
And this is going to be going on pretty much, like you said, in honor of Martin Luther King month.
Right, until the end of January, we're going to be the boxes and the items will be collected and then distributed to the designated pantries that they've chosen, yes.
Okay. It's 27 minutes away from 10. Hang out with me here just 1 second. I need to get this in. Our show, of course, is brought to you part by your local insurance experts from Brightway, the Mays Agency of Tays Valley. From your home to your car, even to your pet, Brightway, the Mays Agency can customize the perfect insurance plan for you. At Brightway, the Mays Agency, they aren't just agents. They're your friends and neighbors. Call John and Sherry Mays today, 304-814-2509, or visit brightwaymays.com. What's the buy-in been like from the business community? You mentioned that some of the stores have even had competition among their employees and things of that nature. I guess what I'm asking is, because I know I have a lot of business people that listen to this show, I'm putting you on the spot, business people, sponsors of the show or whatever. What can they do to get involved? If somebody has a car dealership or they have a doctor's office or a law office or whatever, what can they do to get involved? What would be the best way for them to do it?
Yeah, so I know I keep plugging the United Way's phone number, but give us a call. Whatever. And we will certainly provide boxes. We will certainly be able to come pick up once those boxes are full and make sure that your hard work gets distributed correctly. We would certainly love to partner with any program or other agency or business out there. That would be amazing.
I had a text here to the show, and for those, if you're new to the show, I get more text than phone calls. Somebody said they were talking about animals, and they wanted to know, do you do anything to help out animals? I know you're primarily focused on people, but go ahead.
Yeah, so we do have one site that is directly helping as far as pet items. However, we also know of other pantries in the area here as far as Kanawha County. And if we don't know, we'll find it and we'll get it to use. Yeah.
Get it to you. All right, guys, I appreciate you being here. Give us the information again where people can learn more.
You can call the United Way of Central West Virginia or check us out on our social media at LifeBridge Americorps.
All right. Best of luck with your campaign. I mean, I think this is really a unique thing that you're doing, and that you're tied it in for the whole month in honor of Martin Luther King, and I think it's fantastic, guys. Good luck to you. If you need anything else, get with me. All right, we'll have you back on the show again soon. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
25 minutes away from 10. We're back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses care for your family.
The time is finally here. It's the grand opening celebration of the all-new, redesigned Thornhill Toyota. Your next Toyota is waiting on the Thornhill Motor Mile in Chapmanville. Hey, this is Sydney, and I'm so excited to finally invite all of you to visit our new Thornhill Toyota facility. And just in time for Toyotathon, we're loaded and ready for your visit with the most inventory of the year of new Toyotas, certified Toyotas, and quality used vehicles. The grand opening celebration of the all-new Thornhill Toyota. Offers begin online at thornhilltoyotawv.com and drive on home from the Thornhill Motor Mile, US 119 Chapmanville. Visit Thornhill for all the great details.
Nearly every day, there's a company announcing new jobs in West Virginia. Thanks to the leadership of State Senator Eric Nelson, West Virginia's economy is growing and our future looks bright. Senator Eric Nelson has been part of the team advancing important pro-growth policies. And because Senator Eric Nelson has helped control government spending, West Virginians are receiving the biggest tax cut in our state's history. Vote for more jobs. Vote for lower taxes. Vote for State Senator Eric Nelson. Paid for by the committee to elect Eric Nelson.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Attention animal lovers. Animals Today covers everything related to animals worldwide. Unlike other programs that solely focus on pets, Animals Today explores a wide range of topics concerning all animals, including those in agriculture and in the wild. Host Lori and Dr. Peter Spiegel interview animal protectors and rescuers, filmmakers and authors from around the globe. If you're an animal enthusiast, Animals Today is the show for you. Sunday nights at 10 on 580 WCHS.
On 580 tonight, a basketball doubleheader starting at 7 with Capital playing at GW. Then an NBA feature at 9:30 as the Suns take on the Lakers. Hoops action tonight on 580 WCHS.
23 minutes away from 10, the Dave Allan Show and 580 Live, brought to you part by General Hardware and Lumber of Winfield. From kitchens to paints to decks, straight framing wood, roofing metal, and anything else you may need, you'll find it at General Hardware and Lumber of Winfield. Coming up a little bit later on the show, actor Ashley Stinnett making his second appearance on the show. He's got this new movie out. It's called The Good Fight. A lot of it was filmed here in West Virginia. It co-stars John Schneider of Dukes of Hazzard fame. And he's going to join us to talk about some additional screenings for that movie that have been added to the schedule. Text says, Dave, when are we going to hear about the good news of the West Virginia Democrats' efforts to legalize cannabis? Now, I'm a realist to know it won't happen due to Republicans' disdain for personal freedoms and their Taliban-like policies, but it would be nice to hear about the efforts of the party that values personal freedom and responsibility. I do think that you are going to hear some more about recreational cannabis in the session. Rusty Webb is with us right now.
I got the sarcasm in that.
No, you are. I think
he's sarcasm. He's saying that the Democrats are the party of personal responsibility.
Rusty Webb making a cameo appearance with laughter this morning. How are you, man?
Fantastic.
Great to have you here.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Yeah.
All right. So I was going to ask you, and I actually asked you this off the air last night, if you caught any of the State of the State, but I've already got my answer. You said you did not see much of the State of the State.
I was watching Andy Griffith at the time.
Which one?
It doesn't matter. They're all good.
So you didn't watch it. Okay. All right. No, so what do you expect from the upcoming legislative session? You could be nigh these things.
So here's what happens when you become the supermajority. Mm-hmm. You think that everything is just going to be smooth, but the fact is now you have factions, particularly in the House of Delegates. So now, what was your enemy at one time was the opposing party. Now your enemy are different factions that you're trying to keep together to do things. Mm-hmm. For example, I think West Virginia is going to eventually go to a sales tax. I mean, that's clearly what the idea is. By reducing the income tax, you have to make that revenue up somewhere else. And the Republicans tried it in one bill, and it was defeated by the Republicans, right? So how do Republicans beat Republicans? Because of factions. But now, when you're down to 3.5% income tax, you're going to have to make that up. And I think the sales tax may be. And I don't know if the governor mentioned it because, again, I didn't watch it. But you have to go to this sales tax, which I thought was a brilliant idea. Ed Gaunch introduced it when he was a state senator. My mother, who's passed away, lived in Tennessee. It's wonderful. I have a place in Florida. It's wonderful. It's just everybody pays their fair share. Nobody cheats on a sales tax. Mm-hmm. The more you buy, the rich buy more, they pay more. The poor buy less, they pay less. It's a very equitable, equal tax, and I think that's I think that's where we're headed, but again, if nobody mentioned it last night, maybe I'm totally off key.
I don't recall that being mentioned. He did talk about a lot about pay raises for state workers and for teachers, and then Senator Tarr came out afterwards and basically said no. It's not going to happen. The money's not there. Let me get your opinion on this, and then I'll get to why you're actually here today.
Sure.
There's been some talk about capital punishment. Senate President Craig Blair has said he wants it for those that are guilty of dealing fentanyl. Mike Stewart, former U.S. attorney, current state senator, candidate for attorney general, who I'd scheduled to have on the show tomorrow, just got a text from Mr. Stewart. He's not going to be able to be here tomorrow because of commitments under the Capitol. He's really pushing this thing for. Give me the quick 30 to 45 seconds on Rusty Webb's opinion on capital punishment in West Virginia.
I've always favored it under certain circumstances, but it's not going to pass.
No, I don't think it'll see the light of day either. But
I may have signed a few back in the day when I was down there. But the argument against it is kind of an odd argument. It says it's going to cost the taxpayers too much because of all the appeals.
Well, that's been the knock on capital punishment nationwide. That it's incredibly
it costs too much to execute someone. Not the actual execution. It's all the appeals and the money.
Well, and it's like 10 to 12 years. Before somebody actually goes down. All right, the real reason you're here, you've been going around all over, man, handing out checks like Oprah.
Yes,
go, you get money, you get money, you get a check.
Yeah.
What's this all about?
Well, I just felt like after a 6-year battle, standing shoulder to shoulder with the county commissioners that I represent and mayors that I represent, and that it deserved that this moment deserves something bigger than getting a check in the mail. And I'll say that most of them opted for a check in the mail.
This is the opioid settlement money.
Yes, this is the first check they'll receive. They'll receive 13 or 14 total over the next 13 years. Mm-hmm. And I just felt like the first check should be a big deal, that people should be able to, mark this moment in time that this is when we can change generational addiction in West Virginia.
And you're going to city councils, big and small. I saw that you were a couple of smaller ones the other day. So what will the municipalities use this money for?
Well, the strings, there's strings attached. There's about a 15-page document that was actually drafted by the Purdue bankruptcy that we adopted for West Virginia, because it was vetted by hundreds of lawyers around the country. It has strings, and it basically, if there's a direct or indirect way to educate, treat, or abate, which is a big term we use in equity, abate the drug problem, then you can use it for that. But
there's no guarantee it's going to be used for that.
No, it has to be used for that. Matter of fact, there's an auditing system that the West Virginia First Trust Board will audit every year.
So they're not going to use it to put on a.
No, you can't pave with it. You can't pave.
You're not going to put on a car show with it.
No. There are strings attached. No.
Okay.
And most of them, I think, and they should. Most will go in a special revenue account.
Okay. And the reason I bring that up is because, let's be honest with you, Rusty, and you know this, West Virginians don't always have the best record, those in power, of using money what it's designed for.
No, I'll give you the perfect example is tobacco. It's never been used for its purpose.
For education
never
and
been used. We're still getting tobacco checks from the 90s, and it's never been used. And that's another criticism I have. Mm-hmm. Not another criticism, but the legislature should have. They should use the money the way it was supposed to be intended.
Let me ask you this. I want to ask you to defend your profession for a moment. All right, now we got Attorney Rusty Webb here. Some have said that some of the attorneys in some of these cases are getting too big a slice of the proverbial pie. Your thoughts on that?
It's not true at all. Okay. Again, I've been in the car with the Attorney General, and he will literally say, I'm trying to get the fees lower, right? And he goes, you understand, right? And I said, yeah, I understand. But let me just give you a before and after, okay? His predecessor paid 30 to 40% contingency fee on these types of cases, okay? Do you know what the Attorney General's effective rate was for his attorneys?
What is that?
7.5%.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge deduction.
Huge difference, yeah.
Okay? The panel, the West Virginia Supreme Court appointed MLP, multi-litigation panel, determined that 15% of the gross amount was an appropriate amount to pay the attorneys for the cities and counties, and for the attorneys who what we call did the work. You know, everybody refers cases, nobody does the work, right? So somebody has to do the work. That was 15%. That is at least half of what used to be passed out in this state, and maybe less than half if it's 40%. So those critics it apparently, I don't know who they are, but it's apparently politically driven because it's not factually correct.
One of those has been our good friend Greg Thomas, who's frequently on the show for Citizens Against Lawsuit Abuse. And I know I had the Attorney General and candidate for governor, Patrick Morrissey, on the show earlier. It was Tuesday of this week. And he wanted to specifically address that because I didn't have it on my list of things to talk about, and he kind of jumped in there and said, hey, before we close, you can go back and listen to the show from Tuesday. Before we close, I want to address this. And he pretty much said the same thing you're saying now.
Well, he actually, the way it worked was a special commissioner made a recommendation to the panel, and there's an opportunity for objections. Well, the Attorney General filed objections to the 15%. He wanted it to be what his rate is, which is his effective rate. He does this diminishing, you've seen the diminishing premium on insurance. Yeah. That's the way he scales it. The higher the fee, the higher the amount, the lower the fee. And he wanted it to be a 7.5% effective rate like his was. And they overruled his objections. But he tried.
Attorney Rusty Webb is here with Dave Allan Show on 580 Live, brought to you part by Meeks Realty Group. As a locally owned real estate powerhouse, they specialize in residential and commercial properties. No property too big or too small for Meeks. With their team of the finest realtors in the business, they're your trusted and tested partner in finding your dream home or that dream commercial investment. Give them a call today, 304-401-1101, or visit meeks.us. So where are you headed next, Mr. Webb?
I'm finished for right now.
Okay.
I'm going to come back and revisit the towns that I'm going to go ahead and send them the checks, but the towns that I missed, I'm going to come back and we're going to give it a rest during the legislative session because I know these mayors are going to be busy.
Yeah.
So I'm going to revisit it right after the legislative session and finish them off with I'm going to send them the checks.
You're going to finish them off.
Yeah. That's a bad choice of words. But I'm going to complete seeing all the clients, and it's not just about it's about me appreciating them, allowing me to represent them. I mean, it's a big deal to me when someone hires me, and I want to show my appreciation, and I want to thank them personally.
And some of these, I don't know. I mean, drugs are a problem nationwide. We all know that. I mean, that's like the dumbest statement of the year. However, I don't think sometimes, Rusty, and maybe it's because I'm a little closer to the situation because of where I'm from southern West Virginia. You see drug issues in Charleston, Huntington, and all these places. But there are towns, particularly in southern West Virginia, that have been completely devastated.
Where are you from?
I'm from Logan.
Well, I'm from Madison.
I know. Well, there you go. And
I went to Logan. And that was my last check. Literally, my last check was to Logan.
Down to Serafino, Mayor Noletti, and those fine folks down in Logan.
Let me tell you, I love him.
But my point is that Huntington has kind of been the center of the opioid crisis, and Lord knows that those folks have suffered so much there. But and I'm not pitting one town against another. The town's still there. I mean, Marshall University is still doing what it does, and the hospitals still doing what they do. Go down to places in McDowell County, and look at what they have, what's been done there. Entire freaking towns have been wiped out,
like a tsunami came through. Yeah, I agree.
And I don't think sometimes maybe our listeners don't understand what the devastation that this crap has put on people, starting going back, from the pill mill days up to current, So, well, you're doing good work out there, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Let me just say one more thing.
Have at it.
I have received a couple of questions about individual claims. Mm-hmm. The individual claims were all made. If you hired an attorney, or you hired me for that matter, for an individual claim as related to addiction to opioids, those claims were all made in the Purdue bankruptcy. Okay. And that is pending before the U.S.
Okay,
Supreme
because
Court.
I actually have a text here about that. Somebody said, do you have checks for families that lost loved ones? Their money, not the states or the counties or the cities. So explain that.
Now, if you filed a claim with the Purdue bankruptcy, you should receive some monies. If you did not file a claim with the Purdue bankruptcy, there are no individual checks that are going to be distributed.
And how does one go about that quickly?
It's done. It's
okay, so you had to file with the...
it was 2 years ago. 2 years ago was the filing deadline.
So if they've not done that, they're not going to get anything. Is that what you're saying?
No individual monies, not out of this money, not anywhere until Purdue is resolved.
So what you're handing out is not, it's for the towns, it's not for individuals.
It's not for individuals. And the only money will come from Purdue. All right. That's it.
Rusty, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show, man.
Call me back any topic, anytime. You know me, bro.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Attorney Rusty Webb, 951. The Dave Allan Show on 580 Live, brought to you part by your hometown baseball team, the Charleston Dirty Birds. Maybe wintertime, but we're always thinking baseball over at the ballpark. 2024 Dirty Birds schedule posted on their website, dirtybirdsbaseball.com. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses have been creating jobs in West Virginia since 1997.
The time is finally here. It's a grand opening celebration of the all-new, redesigned Thornhill Toyota. Your next Toyota is waiting on the Thornhill Motor Mile in Chapmanville. Hey, this is Sydney, and I'm so excited to finally invite all of you to visit our new Thornhill Toyota facility. And just in time for Toyotathon, we're loaded and ready for your visit with the most inventory of the year of new Toyotas, certified Toyotas, and quality used vehicles. The grand opening celebration of the all-new Thornhill Toyota. Offers begin online at thornhilltoyotawv.com and drive on home from the Thornhill Motor Mile, US 119 Chapmanville. Visit Thornhill for all the great details.
Experience Husson's January special. Enjoy a massive 18-inch pepperoni pizza with delicious appetizer meatballs for only $24.99. Visit your nearest Husson's for dine-in, pickup, or delivery. Order now at hussonspizza.com.
Hello, I am Judge Stephanie Abraham, and I am running for Circuit Court here in Kanawha County.
Judge Stephanie Abraham was appointed to the Circuit Court by Governor Jim Justice. Judge Stephanie Abraham owned and managed her own law firm and was an attorney for the Department of Education and general counsel for the State Board of Education. Judge Stephanie Abraham is a fair and balanced but tough judge who will always follow the Constitution to protect liberty and achieve justice for all.
I am Judge Stephanie Abraham. I appreciate your vote for Kanawha County Circuit Court.
Paid for by the committee to elect Judge Stephanie Abraham.
Take a bite out of Charleston's newest, best-kept secret, the Honeycomb. This week's 50-50 Friday. Give your taste buds a ride with their delicious wings with 22 different sauces to choose from. Or dive into their other favorites like the fish sandwich or smash burger with your choice of a tasty side. Stop in for lunch or dinner. You'll be glad you did. The Honeycomb, Georgia Street in Charleston. Friday at 9 a.m. Go to WCHSnetwork.com and click the 50-50 Friday button to get 50% off gift certificates for the Honeycomb, courtesy of the WCHS family of networks.
Experience the intensity of the NBA playoffs and finals on 580 WCHS. From buzzer-beating shots to fierce rivalries, we bring you the action that keeps you on the edge of your seat. Tune in and witness the battle for basketball supremacy on 580 WCHS.
6 away from 10, West Virginia Enriched in collaboration with Huntington invites you to witness the transformative power of Special Olympics. Take a few minutes to be inspired and to join the collective effort in making a difference. Not just a story, it's a movement of hope, inclusivity, and triumph, reminding us all that every individual deserves a chance to shine. In West Virginia and beyond, Huntington is truly making a difference right here at home. See a video highlighting the Special Olympics at facebook.com/580 WCHS. Text us to all my liberal pals out there. Biden has nothing to do with West Virginia bringing in new businesses, so please stop. West Virginia has been a Democrat state for years and have always ran off business. Now we are a Republican majority. The state is being run like a business. Text says, Dave, no to recreational marijuana in West Virginia. Too much addiction in West Virginia and this nation. This is simply common sense, says the texter. All right, I told you a few weeks ago about this movie that definitely has a West Virginia vibe to it. It's called The Good Fight. A lot of it filmed in West Virginia. It stars a West Virginia guy, Culloden to be exact, by the name of Ashley Stinnett. This movie's turning out to be a major hit. A couple of screenings have already been held around the state. More are coming. The star of the film, West Virginia native Ashley Stinnett, returns to the show. Ashley, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Dave. I'm doing great, my friend. How you doing?
I got limited time, so I want to get right to it. What has the response been so far?
It's been amazing. It's been humbling. Last weekend, The Good Fight was the top-grossing movie in this entire market, which is pretty amazing. We had sold-out crowds in Huntington and Hayes Valley. The great news is the movie is going to be back at Marquee Cinemas in Huntington, Southridge, South Charleston, and in Beckley this coming weekend. So it's been a great grassroots effort. And I should add, it's also coming back to Hayes Valley. So it's basically playing in the largest markets in the state. If we have another good weekend, it's absolutely moving beyond the West Virginia borders, which is great. I mean, this is not about me. This is about showing the rest of the country that West Virginians can make high-quality motion pictures. You know, we can compete with, you know, L.A., New York, and Atlanta. So we're just really encouraging people to, you know, pack those theaters. You know, it's a good film. It's a faith-based boxing movie, and you can bring kids. It's, you know, it's a family film. And last weekend was tremendous. It really was.
And you're headed where again this weekend?
Yep, this weekend the movie will be playing at Marquee Cinemas in Huntington, Charleston, which is the Southridge Marquee Cinemas, and also the Marquee Cinemas in Beckley. And some of the Facebook pages are showing the movie trailer. You can check their websites for showtimes and listings and ticket information, but it'll be playing all weekend across the southern half of West Virginia at Marquee Cinemas.
All right. Is there a good place? I know you said some of the movie places are showing trailers, but is there like a simple Facebook page or a website where people can learn specifically about this? Hit that, and then I got to cut you loose.
Yep, it's super easy. The Good Fight official movie page. Find it on Facebook. You can watch the trailer. And again, Huntington, Hayes Valley, Charleston, and Beckley. Be in the theaters. It's a great weekend to go to the movies.
Yeah, indeed it is. Ashley, I appreciate you being here, man. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, my friend. All
right, Ashley Stinnett. Go check out this movie. Again, plenty of opportunities to do it. 3 minutes away from 10. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you part by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. I do want to remind you that 1 week from today, we are teaming up with our friends, the title sponsors of the show here, the Thornhill Auto Group, help out our neighbors in need. We're asking you to bring new socks to our studios here at 1111 Virginia Street East in Charleston. 1 week from today, we'll start early in the morning, go till about 8 or so in the morning till about 6 o'clock at night. Just drop off some new socks. You can get them really, really cheap. We'll take cases of socks, or we'll take, as long as they're in a package. We don't want to use socks or anything like that. And we're going to give them to those that could really use them as we head into a really, really cold weather pattern, especially starting next week. And again, that's next Thursday that we'll be accepting those here. It's all brought to you by Thornhill Auto Group. Text says, Dave, are you asking your listeners to think about other towns and people other than themselves? Are you asking your listeners to have empathy for other people? Dave, are you becoming woke? I think that's a little sarcasm there. Text says, I like Rusty Webb. He's a plaintiff's attorney through and through. Don't let him pretend otherwise. Ask about all the money he's made suing employers and businesses. Well, I'll let him defend that the next time he's on the show. Text says, Democrats, like the earlier texter calling Republicans the Taliban, are exactly why so many people like me left that party a long time ago. You can disagree with policy, that's fine, but why do you people have to be so freaking nasty to others? Oh, by the way, thanks to Jabber and Joe, the Taliban, a noted terrorist group, now has probably the greatest supply of U.S. taxpayer-funded military equipment in the world. Remember that in November, voters. All right, it's been a packed show. We got through it. The A-Train and I pulled it off. All right, we got to go. Hoppy live at the Capitol. Again, coming up at 10:06 in the AARP broadcast studios. My producer was the A-Train, Anthony Harmon. Anthony, thank you so much. Tomorrow on the show, it's Friday. Hannah Gardner from the Kanawha Charleston Humane Association with this week's Adopt Me Please Pet of the Week. And Dr. Casey Sachs from Bridge Valley will be on the show tomorrow as well. Didn't get by the way, just got a quick text here from Brad. Apparently, okay. Oh, that's not to be read on the air. All right, inside information. I'll see you tomorrow. Till then, have fun and love somebody.
580 WCHS AM, 96.5 FM Charleston, and 104.5 Cross Lanes, a WVRC media station. We're proud to live here too.